Before we get started with today's video, we'd just like to offer you a free online evaluation of your property. If you're interested in knowing the value of your home, just go to vancouverhousevalues.net, fill out the form, and we will instantly email you out the value of your home. So before we get going, I'd just like to remind you, if you get any value out of these videos, if you wouldn't mind just making a comment, clicking on the like button, or even subscribing to our YouTube channel or liking our Facebook page. So today is May the 20th, and we've just analyzed the statistics for the first 3 weeks of the month here, and sales remain strong all through Greater Vancouver and the Fraser Valley. For detached properties, detached houses, 66% of the properties that have sold so far this month have sold with multiple offers. It's just a huge number. Still means that supply, or I should say demand, is outpacing supply. On average, they're selling, of the 66% that sold, they're selling 3% above asking price, and they're selling within 12 days. So that's for detached properties out as far as Abbotsford. 62% of the attached market. And attached means, or attached means, condos, townhomes, and half duplexes. So we've got 62% of the condos, townhomes, and half duplexes are also selling with multiple offers. Another huge number. 12 days average selling time again, and 3% above asking price again. So they have that in common with the detached market. Now, having said all of this, what we're starting to see, and it's, we're into the second and third month in some areas of inventories rising. To this point, the inventories have not caught up enough to slow the markets down. Once that does happen, if it does happen, then we'll start to see less multiple offer situations, and this is already occurring in certain areas, but we'll see less multiple offer situations, and buyers may actually have the opportunity to go look at 3 or 4 homes at a time and pick the one they want, rather than be in on a feeding frenzy every time they see a listing that they are interested in. So to talk about the inventory levels and how they're coming up for detached houses, West Vancouver is up 14% to this point in May over the end of April. East Side 8%, Ladner 13%, Tawasin 14%, Richmond 11%, 26% in North Van, and 8% in West Van. So as I was saying already, inventories creeping up. For the condo, townhouse, and half duplex market, the attached part of the market, downtown Vancouver's up 9%. West side of Vancouver is up 31% since the beginning of April. Vancouver East up 23%. So lots of stuff coming on the market. Richmond's up 8%, North Van's up 8%, and West Vancouver's up 21%. So why prices rise and why this is important to you as a buyer or seller is real estate works on the principles of supply and demand. When there isn't enough supply, as there hasn't been around here for the last year or so now, prices start to rise and you will see multiple offer situations. When the supply outmatches the number of buyers, then you'll see prices level off and buyers have more time and more selection to pick a property. So that's where the market is at here, 3 weeks into May. I just want to go back. I've been getting a question quite a bit lately from different people is it too late to buy property or to buy a house in Greater Vancouver? So what I did was I went back and got a 40-year graph out from going back to 1980, a 41-year graph we'll call it. And what we've seen, so in 1980, going out as far as Abbotsford again, the average price was for a home in Greater Vancouver, the Greater Vancouver area, was $100,000 for a property, roughly $100,000. By 1990, that had risen to $250,000. By 2000, the price was $380,000. So just 21 years ago, you could get a detached house. The average price in Greater Vancouver was $380,000. By 2010, that had gone up to $900,000, and by 2020, that had gone up to $1.6 million. And today, we're sitting at 1.91. Was the number at the end of April. So if you are going to purchase a property today, it's not going to be a smooth ride upwards, just as this wasn't. In 1981, we had the market crashed, the real estate market crashed, and it really took till 86 or 87 after the World's Fair for the market to get strong again. In the 90s, while the rest of North America was all booming economically and their real estate markets were on fire, here in BC, we were in the dumps. Political instability and governments with scandal after scandal left them very little time to govern the business of the province because they were busy dealing with their own fires that they were setting everywhere, and they were trying to put them out. In the early 2000s, we had the '08 banking crisis. In the teens, from 2010 to 2020, we had the foreign buyers tax and a million other taxes implemented around British Columbia and Greater Vancouver to slow the market there. So there's always been something, and there will be stuff in this decade to slow the market down as well. But the difference is Vancouver is one of the unique places in the whole world. For number one, it's the best city in the best country in the world, and the place is landlocked. You can't go north, you can't go south, and you can't go west. You used to find more property going east. That doesn't happen anymore, and that's why we see the explosion up in the air. Vancouver will always be a good long-term investment, with a couple of things in my mind that I always think to myself, what could it be? What would slow this market down or make Vancouver a less desirable place to live? Well, number one, an earthquake would cause a real big slowdown, and I'm talking about a significant earthquake would happen, and it could conceivably happen around here. It's going to happen one day, they always tell us. We don't know if it's going to be next week or 300 years from now. So that would be one thing that could do it. The other thing I've thought a lot more of since we saw all the political unrest, or see the political unrest in the United States, is what if something happened politically in Canada? That could change the value of the properties in Greater Vancouver as well. But forgetting those couple of things, Vancouver will always be a great investment. I'm Jamie Hooper with Remax Crest and jamiehooper.com, and we'll be back again with you to speak about other real estate topics in the next couple of weeks.